needs a letter E. There! And now...
Поехать мне к тебе, возможности пока нету. А здесь вот...
Sometimes I have stupid ideas, guys, and yet I do them anyway. Unrelated, I have started a new challenge to achievement hunt a game for each letter of the alphabet. I laid them all out in a wheel and let Jesus take it and provide me with my first letter. And I knew pretty much right away what I wanted to do. Welcome to Ebola Village, a clear-cut copycat of my favorite game series, Resident Evil. This is, surprisingly, my first encounter with the Ebola series. I was shocked to find out that Ebola 1, 2, and 3 already exist, with Ebola 4 in development. So look forward to that. Despite this being the 4th entry in the series, I figured I may as well start with Village. I'll just read the notes to catch up on the lore. With 2 previous convictions for using unconventional methods of treating hemorrhoids. What does that mean? The game is set in Russia and is surprisingly fully voice acted, albeit in Russian, with English captions. We play as this down-on-her-luck lady, freshly divorced and living in a rundown apartment building. I'm not sure what her name is, to be honest. Maria? In my defense, I'm pretty sure it changed throughout the game. Consistency is not their strong suit. There is an Ebola outbreak, unsurprisingly, and when she can't reach her mother on the horn, she decides to travel to her mom's home and check on her. Right away, I detected a concerning pattern of behavior that will persist throughout the game. It's a ton of busy work, with rationale that is dubious at best. All I need to do is get my keys and the driver's license and leave for the village. But my license is in the bathroom, and the bathroom, only the bathroom, has no power. Despite having a flashlight on her, Marina refuses to enter the dark room. So instead what I need to do is take the stairs all the way down, grab the bolt cutters, take the stairs all the way back up, break into my neighbor's apartment. Why am I breaking into this apartment? Steal a fuse, power on the bathroom lights, and grab the license. All of that hullabaloo when realistically it would have taken 3 seconds to walk into the bathroom with the flashlight and get it. And the game loves doing this. The map is pretty small, all told, with vast parts of it just empty. So to make it feel bigger, they force the player to run a full marathon going back and forth collecting key items. Anyone reasonable would say, why not just pick up the key item the first time you see it? Because the game won't let me. Until I am explicitly told that I need an item, I can't pick it up. So when I do need that item, I go to the other side of the village where I'd seen it, grab it, and hoof it all the way back, passing through several loading zones. And despite having the game on an M.2 SSD, loading times are long. Okay, so the game is professional at wasting my time, but let's stay open-minded and see what the game has to offer. As far as achievements, it's pretty standard horror game fare. Earn all ranking scores, play on all difficulties, collect some creepy-ass sentient dolls, plus a speed run and a no-save run. They also made me watch their movie to unlock the achievement movie. I don't know, it was creative. I strive for efficiency when it comes to multiple playthrough achievements. So on my blind run, I played on the hardest difficulties since I'm just about that life, and prayed that the difficulty would stack. I will also be keeping an eye out for these creepy dolls, 15 in total. And even though this note says that I gain some ancestral power when I get all 15, jack shit happened as far as I could tell. After her casual B&E, Maria/Marina makes it to her mother's village and instantly runs out of gas. There's an open police car with a corpse just chilling in the middle of the road. I found a pouch on the police car that increased my inventory slots, unlocking the achievement inventory and locking me in for this achievement run. I find a combat guide and they are not even attempting to hide this, dude. Look at that. After picking up the gun from this guy covered in earthworms, the game attempts to jump scare me. The jump scares would be more effective if there wasn't a huge lag spike before every single one alerting me to their presence. Since I'm now in the thick of it, I may as well quickly discuss combat. There are only 3 weapons in the game: a pistol, a knife, and later a shotgun. Despite playing on the hardest difficulty, at one point I amassed nearly 100 pistol bullets, and every normal enemy dies in 4 headshots. Every single time. Well, so long as I can hit them when they're weaving like drunk sailors. The problem with that is, how would that possibly scale down to the easier difficulties? And what part of having hundreds of bullets is hard? I mean, at one point my bullets bugged out when I dropped them and I lost all of them, but that's besides this point. In comparison, Resident Evil 2 Hardcore, it takes like 12 bullets to take down a normal zombie, and that'll be almost every bullet you have for that section of the map. On top of that, enemies in Ebola Village don't respawn or get replaced. So when I clear out an area, barring some specific exceptions, I never need to worry about enemies there again. But my absolute favorite part about the combat in this game is, whose arms are those? Because those certainly look like man hands, and she, at no point in this game, is wearing a jacket. You couldn't even get lady hands? What the hell? I fight my way through these guys, but now with her clothes slightly torn from the attack, I have to go into this house and find something to change into. You're acting awfully precious for being in a damn apocalypse. After changing and finding my first save room, it's time to head out. Moving on to the second area of the Ma'am, can I help you with something? The answer is no, because she literally disappears and is never seen again in the game. It actually happens a lot that there will be some dramatic intro of a cool-looking character who we never see again. Honestly, they're probably there so they can use it in the trailer. Anyway, back to why I'm here. I wonder which of these buildings is my mom's house. Let's just check the map. Okay, well maybe I'll just stumble on it. All of the doors in this second area have the classic RE2 key system, so there's nothing here for me now. Past this gate is La Vaca, but nothing else. Past the other gates, I find the only other human in this village, a drunk as hell homeless guy. The zombies seem to want nothing to do with him, and he wants nothing to do with me until I find him some vodka. Hair of the dog and such. This area is a dead end for the moment, since the only 2 other gates are locked. And apparently this one leads to her ex-husband's house. Or I guess her marital house. Your ex-husband and your mom live in the same village? Okay. I walked around this area for what felt like forever, and I can confirm there is absolutely nothing here. Because the next step was, of course, to just go back to the previous area. Apropos of absolutely nothing. Once I do go back through the gate, there's a cutscene where I'm attacked by a special enemy. I can tell he's special because he has a plaid shirt. Just kidding, there's really nothing denoting him as special at all. I have just given you the entire context for this man and everything I know about him. So would it surprise you to learn that he's Maria/Marina's grandpa? It should, because we didn't know that. Before we killed him, at least. After he's killed, he drops the club key, and he and our mother must live in the same house because when I unlock that door, inside I find this scene. She almost certainly needs more than acetaminophen, but I set out to find some for her. On my way out, she says, "Oh, he's probably fine. Out in the village somewhere, and definitely alive." After loosening this door with some WD-40, I take the opportunity with the only enemy present to do a knife kill for the achievement, Knife. Expect these creative achievement names to continue. In this library, I find the vodka for the guy, and in this locker, I find a key, which unlocks the room 2 feet away. That seems unnecessary. But inside I find bolt cutters, since I apparently lost the ones I started the game with. I give the vodka to the guy, and when I try to talk to him, he says, "Who cares? Didn't ask." He's nihilistic because he has hepatitis and is dying and does not give a shit what is happening in the village. And that's it. That's the period on that conversation. He literally provides me with nothing. But with my bolt cutters, I now have access to the church, and I certainly need it with this game. There's a corpse lying right out in the open, and for some reason, she gives it a stern talking to. And he's like, "Yeah, you're right, I'm doing too much," and then doesn't attack her at all. I don't know what's happening. Inside the church, I find this freaky nun lady who's blind for no discernible reason other than maybe it makes her freakier looking? She has a monologue cursing all the non-believers, but other than that, she's literally harmless. Most importantly, I find the spade key. Past the spade door, I have the honor of finding another key which leads me to the gate to my ex's house. But even though the gate is unlocked and I'm armed and dangerous, the game won't let me enter until I possess the shotgun. But at this point, I had no idea where the shotgun was. This stymied me for several minutes, looking around for where to go. This was pretty frustrating, but at least I found this bug where inspecting items makes them persist once the menu was closed. So that was pretty fun. Eventually, I found this gate that was super easy to miss in the starting area, which leads to a cabin, home of the forester. And he's dead before I get there. I didn't do this. Promise. After collecting both parts of this gear, I'm able to get the Winchester free from its cage. Since the game considers me sufficiently armed, I'm able to go to the house. Another roundabout of bullshit. I grab the shovel to dig up the dead cat. Also, this is how she learned her cat died. Get the cat's collar, which has on it the lock combination, which has in it the key to open the house. Great. Fascinatingly, the house is the only structure that is not instanced. The exterior and most of the house is the same loading zone. Entering literally any other building, and sometimes entering rooms within the same building, has a loading screen. I really don't get it. Why couldn't you do this for the... whatever. Visit the house is unlocked for visiting the house. Down in the basement, I see a corpse being reanimated by these leech things. So, to recap, Ebola, which is a real-life disease that exists, can reanimate dead bodies and is spread through leeches or parasites or whatever. Okay, understood. Also, is this RE2 or RE0 inspired? Is this a crossover episode? I find a message from the ex-husband alluding to an audio message he left for Marina on a record, which he then broke into 2 pieces and hid for her to collect. Of course, if I was going to leave a dying message for a loved one, that's what I would do too. I grab both pieces of the record, and his final message is that he's sorry for leaving her and that he still loved her. And despite cursing this man's name in the beginning of the game, that's enough for her to have this entire scene.
Я тоже люблю тебя.
I feel like this is not a normal reaction. The heart key falls from the ceiling, and on my way out, I have to kill Chainsaw Santa Claus. So now it's RE4 as well. Let Marina punch a boulder, you cowards. I demand RE5 representation. I take him down, and he's really pleased for me. I appreciate the support. On to the clinic, I finally find the medicine for my mother. Remember her? The whole reason we've been here? I also get the other part of the crest for the last gate that I need to go through. First, let's go give our mother this fever medication, which she definitely does not need. Homegirl does not have a fever. The best thing for her would be an exorcism, probably. It needs some time to work, so I leave her for now. I get an RE4 cabin callback with enemies coming in through every window of the house. Take them all out, board the windows so mother is safe, and I'm off through 4 loading zones to open the final gate. On my way, Maria has the most ridiculous idea. That is the most asinine train of thought. They didn't attack this one guy, so I should take his blood and inject myself with it so I can contract hepatitis and then they'll leave me alone too? Fine. Catch hepatitis. See if I care. Idiot. Past comically timed helicopter explosions and another dramatic intro for a character we will never see again, I find a mansion. Finally, some RE1 representation. First, a puzzle where I have to move this statue on the numbered tiles in a particular order. Doing so unlocks the achievement statue. In this shiny case is the top half of the diamond key, so I'm off deeper into the mansion to find the bottom half. There is a walkie-talkie playing a message saying where to find survivors and help, so now we have an idea of where to go. But how to get there, since every single vehicle in the entire village has been siphoned of gas? We'll come back to that. Once I get the bottom half of the diamond key, we're off to the basement, in which I locate the final doll to unlock Amulet, and I find nothing else. I am once again lost as hell. I looked through every single inch of this entire forsaken place, and I could find nothing that would progress me in this story. And there's a very simple explanation for that, because the item I was looking for was invisible. There was nothing there, barring a prompt for the interact button. Now I have the instructions on how to repair a tractor, the final functioning vehicle in this village, and my ticket off Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. First things first, grab the toolbox from the basement, and I recalled leaving diesel fuel in one of the houses. Time to make my way back across the map. But first... werewolves. This game is basically Twilight. This is the skin of a killer, Bella. So, yeah, I kill all of these buff furries, and they also don't seem to mess with hepatitis, because this dude is bing chilling. I draw his blood since I'm passing by, and he's weirdly a huge fan of it. Maria then injects herself with it, which is still a ludicrous idea. Grab the tractor spare parts, which are in the husband's dark room for some reason, and path towards the barn for the battery. The bull caught Ebola. Ebola. In the barn is the battery for the tractor, and finally it's time to grab the diesel that I left by these lockers. We're ready to grab Mother and blow this popsicle stand. But yeah, her anti-inflammatory didn't quite cut it. Of course we can't leave her in such a state, so we have to put her down. And honestly, she has a fuck ton of health. Also, why is she suddenly bald? Once she's dead, I leave the house and get a huge lag spike into this pretty crazy final cutscene. Mindless Ebola zombies boogieing around a Russian Claire Redfield while her mother's house is engulfed in flames. and then riding off into the sunset on a tractor. She makes it to the survivor camp, lets them know zombies don't kill people who are terminally ill. She got there fast enough that they were able to cure her hepatitis, and she swears revenge on the evil corporation who released the Ebola virus on the world. Completing this run, I get all of the difficulty achievements, the speedrun achievement, and all of the ranked achievements. Yes, they did all stack, and I thank every deity which will listen. This just left me with the no save achievement. I played on easy and just ran through as fast as I could. Still took about an hour and 45 minutes. To answer my own question from much earlier, the difficulty doesn't scale well. In fact, I saw basically no difference between hard and easy. Why even have difficulties then? Just forget them entirely. That would be fine. With that, every achievement in the Game of the Year contender Ebola Village is unlocked, and my first letter of the alphabet is down. This will be a long-running series because, guys, there's a lot of letters in the alphabet. I don't know if you know this, but I'll be doing the wheel spin for the next letter very soon. Until then, bye-bye.